lot more than I do, is that the price is really high. You know, when you see one of your buddies that's injured in the course of his daily work, you know, then you know what the price has been paid. You know,
but we're trying to change people's mindset that have had this mindset for 30 years. We've only been here 3 years. It's going to take a lot longer. I mean, we're still in Japan, Germany, Kosovo, Yugoslavia, Bosnia. We're in over 160 countries. The U.S. military is. We're not pulling out of here anytime soon.
Let me ask you a question. What do you all think of your thoughts of you heard the Secretary of Defense? You hear the President. You know that this is very political back home. What are your thoughts about all that?
Look, we are all soldiers. We serve at the leisure of the President. You know, you can hear what all you want. 99.9% of the soldiers who are on ground have taken a vow and an oath to do this. We do it armed, and we're glad to actually do it.
Do you hear the politics? Do you hear the debate?
Yeah.
I know you're watching Hannity and Combs every night.
Sure. But you know what?
It's actually in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, right.
But we watch this and we compare it to the others, and it's politicized no matter where you go. You know, in order for us to do what it is that is required to do, you got to stop that. I don't want to hear from an intellectual standpoint that we support you guys, but when it comes to the practicality of it, you don't. So either you do or you don't. You follow me?
Meaning, you know, we've had politicians say we can't win this war. You heard John Kerry's comments. You heard John Murtha's comments. You've heard the attacks against the president.
But by those politicians saying that we can't win the war, that to me is telling that they don't have any faith in us. They have no faith in us soldiers. They don't believe in us, and they cannot put their trust in us.
That was you say that. Are we saying those that say you can't win? Are they saying that the United States of America, that if we put the time, money, energy, resources, and focus on winning, we couldn't? I don't believe that for a second.
We can win.
It's a political issue, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
We can win, but the politicians can lose it. It's the sergeants and the lieutenants that are here fighting that are going to win this thing.
We won every single
In
war.
Vietnam.
The politicians pulled us out.
You know what's really interesting about this is that they keep saying we can, but they've not defined what win is. Give us a definition of what win is. Give it to the soldiers to watch this.
I think the president gave a pretty good definition of win.
I
Let
agree.
the Iraqis be able to sustain themselves, protect themselves.
I don't think we'll be able to claim a victory until years after we're gone. It'll be how Iraq turns out after we've pulled out and the Iraqis have taken over and they're led by their own chosen leadership and how their army and security forces stand up. And we won't know for years.
Well, and this was exactly my very first question.
It's a time issue. The American public or whoever says you can't win the war, they can't win the war in the time that they want. If anything's given enough time to get it done right, you need to do it thorough and you need to do it well. So
See, America has kind of turned into an instant gratification.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody wants an easy answer.
They want it right then, right now, on their fingertips.
A and B.
Exactly. I want to ask you all a personal question because I've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of you. You know, what's it like? You get on an airplane, you leave your young children at home, you leave your wife on a tarmac, probably in tears, upset. Who said it's hard?
It's hard.
It's hard. You know you're going to be here a year. You know that some kids come back with severe injuries. Some don't come back at all. What's that like? What is the psychological process?
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. I got two boys. I got a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old. I need to be in their life more than anything right now because of their age.
And you're here.
I'm here.
You know what?
I don't mind being here. That's what I got to do. But still, it's hard on these kids to leave their families. I'm older than most of these kids. Look, I'm 50 years old.
Older, better looking, smarter.
Those kids that are leaving these babies.
It's tough.
It's tough on the families.
Look, I'm here for 3 days, and I'm leaving, and my wife's like, first thing, did you check the insurance? No, no, I'm only kidding. But, 3 days.
It's tough on the kids, and these kids are doing an outstanding job.
But I was thinking about all you, and I've had conversations, and you guys are here for a year. You're away from your families, you're away from your friends, you're away from your kids, and then you have the added burden and responsibility of avoiding IEDs when you're out on the road. That's pretty tough.
But Sean, I think most of us look at it,
And mortars coming in, that too. I mean,
I think most of us look at it. This is not a job. In any way, shape, or form, this is not a job. This is a lifestyle, and we choose this type of lifestyle.
knowing the danger.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the definition of bravery and sacrifice? And you do it because why?
Because I want my children and everybody else that lives in America to have the same freedoms that I had. And
that's what
my fathers had.
That's what our fathers did, isn't it? When my father signed up after Pearl Harbor, that's sort of what, you know, they sort of gave us the gift.
We're just passing it on.
Isn't this sort of, if you look at that generational challenge, the World War II generation, we always say they're the greatest generation. Isn't this our generation's real pivotal moment? And then isn't there some risk now that it's been so politicized that we miss this opportunity? You all worry about that and came here, and that this has become this becomes a Vietnam?
We can't worry about what's being said back there.
You don't think about it at all?
Well,
you hear it?
We can hear it and we can think about it, but we know we have a mission here. And from what our superiors give us, and we pass it on down to our younger soldiers, that's what we have to worry about. We don't have time to be worried about all of the political stuff going on because we're here. Well, you know, we're here. And we've got to do this year, go to the house.
Please, these people... go ahead, Megan.
The bottom line is that we hear what's being said in the media back home. But we're here and we see a whole different side of what's happening.
Explain that. What's the difference between what people hear at home and what's happening here?
Good example. This past Tuesday, we went out to the city to deliver school supplies to the children.
And we're in Mosul, just so people know.
This
okay. In Mosul.
And the Iraqi army actually provided our security force. We didn't have any problems. The locals, they were, they were a little bit shy and nervous, but, absolutely.
So that transition is happening successfully. In other words, you've trained the Iraqis. They're now, the police force, their military is now becoming more and more capable every day.
The Iraqi colonel assured us of our security, and we have full faith and trust in him, and he delivered.
Yeah.
Also, Sean, please make sure that the American public knows that these soldiers have not been duped. We knew exactly what we were getting ourselves into when we came to the military, and we have a much more intellectual, smarter force today. These are soldiers who think on their feet. They have a lot more responsibility than the average American.
When you say that, do you say that because of somebody like John Kerry's comments?
Well, sure, absolutely.
You've heard those comments?
Well, absolutely did. And that's why you saw the depiction of, the soldiers from the guard unit that said, the misspelled, but these soldiers, that's an insult. It's an absolute insult to sit there and say to these young men and women and the leaders and the commanders and the first sergeant, sergeant majors and the privates that, you know what? If you don't do this, then this is, that's totally an insult and the wrong answer.
Especially
very educated. Some of the most highly educated people in the first
So then here's the question. So you know the danger. You know America's at war.
Absolutely.
You know we had the worst attack in history.
Yes.
And many of you signed up for this duty.
Right.
So then the question is why?
Because, look, I'm going to tell you right now. This is an old adage, but we love our country. It's that simple. We love our country.
Video coming up, including you went to one of Saddam Hussein's palaces, right?
Yeah, we'll show it. These guys, Alan, are some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
Questions.
Unbelievable.
Bravery. We check in with Greta Van Susteren. She is standing by telling us what's coming up right after Hannity.